Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Serena and I film videos weekly on fashion, beauty, planner related items, do-it-yourself videos, and women empowerment videos as well. So today we are going to be filming a drugstore makeup routine on some new products and some oldies but goodies that I have found that work really well for me and for covering some of my problem areas. A little bit of a backstory. My skin is kind of combo. I suffer from cystic acne and I did have a little bit of a breakout right here and here, but it's healing very nicely, and so I wanted to do a get ready with me on this new foundation that I found. It's called the Super Stay Full Coverage Foundation by Maybelline. So I've already wore this once, but I love this foundation. So we're gonna go ahead and do a get ready with me. So let me go ahead and zoom the camera in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and kind of adjust it. Sorry. Okay. So I've already washed and prepped my skin. The only thing that was not drugstore is my primer, which is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I have not found a drugstore primer that I'm loving, but this is the only thing that was not drugstore. So I've already put that on my skin. I've already done my routine. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna moisten this sponge, this Real Technique sponge, with a little bit of the setting spray from e.l.f. And then I'm going to go ahead and put about 2 pumps of the foundation on my Real Techniques beauty sponge. And I'm going to just go ahead and work this into my skin. So it looks a little bit crazy because I have the lighting for my ring light to film, but I assure you, once it's all blended out, it's gonna look really, really, really nice. So I currently put 2 pumps of the foundation on my skin. And as you can see, it's covering those areas right here very well. And what is nice about this drugstore foundation is it does not dry down right away, which is really nice. It has a very good consistency, but it does not feel heavy. So you can build this up if you prefer a little bit more coverage. And then I'm just going to blend the remaining bit down my neck just so it all blends. Blend a little bit up to my ears, and I'm going to blend this down so it covers everything nicely and it blends well. So there we go. And if you look, it's covering my areas, my problem areas very well. I'm going to put a little bit more right here on my cheek, and then a little more right here on my chin, where I was having a little bit of a breakout. Nothing too bad. But as far as a drugstore foundation, I'm really, really, really happy with the application and the coverage of it. It's covering my skin very nicely. It does not feel very heavy. And so I'm just going to go ahead and let that kind of set on my skin a little bit. And then we're going to go in with concealer. My favorite concealer, I actually use a little bit of a combo. I do the e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer, as well as the Instant Age Rewind for Maybelline in the color Brightener. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit here of the Brightener from Maybelline. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the Camo Concealer as well. And if you're interested in the colors, they will be listed down below in the description box. So I just picked up this little e.l.f. Camo Concealer Sponge, and I love it. I'm going to spray it as well with a little bit of the setting spray just to kind of wet it a little bit. Okay, now that that is a little bit wet, I love the little angle on this. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to blend out my concealer. And this is an amazing sponge from e.l.f. And it says you can only, you should use it with the Camo Concealer, but obviously you can use it with any concealer. And look at how nice that it's blending out my concealer very well. And I love how it gets so close to under your eye. So there we go. It's looking a little bit less crazy. I definitely like a bright under eye, that is for sure, just to combat those dark circles. Okay, and that's looking quite nice. Pretty happy with that. And I might go in with a little bit more of the Age Rewind. So I'm just gonna go in a little bit more with the Age Rewind right here. And I'm just gonna blend that out a little bit and just tap it very lightly to blend. You don't want to swoosh it, you just want to do very light taps to blend that product under your eye very nicely. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and do that. And then I am going to get a little bit more of the foundation, and then I'm just going to put it here and here. And I'm going to just blend out that concealer just a little bit so it's not so stark under my eyes. And it's still looking very good, very bright under my eyes, not cakey, not heavy at all. And there you go. So we're gonna go ahead and let me get a makeup wipe real quick. I gotta wipe my hands. So we are gonna let that kind of set on the skin a little bit. And it's looking really good. I'm really liking the coverage. I might use a little bit more of the rest of this foundation just to kind of blend down my neck so it matches really well. That way you don't have that crazy, you know, difference in color from your jawline to your neck. So, okay, perfect. Now that that is all blended, we are going to go ahead and set our under eye with the Rimmel Translucent Setting Powder. Again, all of the items are going to be listed in the description box down below. So this is the Translucent Setting Powder. I'm just going to use my little short Real Techniques powder brush. I'm going to swirl it, tap off the excess, swirl and tap. And then instead of sweeping, I'm going to just push that concealer ever so lightly under my eyes. So we're going to do the same thing, swirl and tap. And we are going to just push that concealer under the eyes. I'm going to do the same thing with the rest of my face. I always start with my under eyes and then I just kind of work down. And the reason I press the product into my skin versus sweep it is I want all of my products to, one, stay, and two, help them just blend together. So instead of swishing your product away, doing it to blend them in is a lot easier than swishing your product away. So All right, perfect. So now we are done with the foundation and the powder. I'm going to move on to my brows. And if you follow me on Instagram, I did do a go live. I'm going to just clean these up a little bit. I did do a go live on my Instagram do-it-yourself beauty video. I ended up, I'm looking at the mirror behind the camera. I ended up doing a do-it-yourself eyebrow tinting with the Just for Men beard and mustache color kit, and it actually turned out pretty well. I don't have to fill in my brows as much as I did before. I am going to be doing it again. They recommend doing it every 2 weeks or so. I'm going to try doing a different method the next time I do it. The first time I did it was a little bit crazy just because I had no idea what I was doing and I was literally filming it live. But I feel like that's kind of a good thing because it helps you to get out of your comfort zone, especially when you are newer to Instagram and YouTube and things like that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and comb them. And this is the LA Girl Brow Bestie. And again, I will have everything linked down below for everyone if they are interested in trying any of these products. And then I went in with the NYX Brow Mascara as well. But since I did the eyebrow tinting, I really don't have to fill them in as much, which is really nice. And it just gives such a good baseline. So that's where my brows filled in. Now we are going to go ahead and start on my eyes. I always do my mascara first, then my shadow, and then I throw on my lashes. So we are using the Colossal Maybelline Waterproof Mascara. And this has been my favorite mascara for a few years now. I do want to broaden my drugstore mascara options. So I am going to be getting a couple new mascaras to try out and do a full review on. Now I'm just going ahead and doing the bottom lashes as well. I also did get a sample of the Milk mascara. It works pretty well. I just go through so much mascara. I feel like spending a lot of money on a high-end mascara is kind of ridiculous when you use so much mascara. That's the same thing too with eyebrow pencils. I just opt to use drugstore because I go through them so quickly, and I feel it's very unnecessary to spend that much money on a product that you just go through so quickly. But of course, that's just my matter of opinion. And now I'm just going to finish doing my mascara. And I'm looking in the mirror to make sure I'm getting all of the little hairs, just to make sure that they're nice and defined. So this mascara, it's really great. It doesn't clump up as you see. Let me look here. As you see, it does not clump. It separates your lashes really well. I normally wear falsies, but when I use this mascara for my bottom lashes, I always get a lot of compliments on the mascara I wear for my bottom lashes because it really defines them and separates them, and you can add quite a bit of coats without letting them dry between coats, which I appreciate. And you can see how, I'm gonna move my ring light just a little bit because I feel like it's kind of washing out There you go. But that is what the mascara looks like. It looks really pretty and it's really defining my lashes quite well. And it helps prepare my real lashes for the falsies. So there we go. Pretty happy with the lashes. So I'm going to let those dry. I'm going to go ahead and go in with my shadow. I got this palette from Wet n Wild and it was listed as $15. It was a holiday palette and it was on sale last year. And I was able to get it for, I want to say $2, if that. And look at all of these colors. I've hit pan on this one, but I use a lot of these browns for my corner of my lid just to do a little bit of definition. So let me go ahead and get out. And then I also have this palette as well. It's really pretty. This is from NYX and this is some of the shades here. So I'm actually going to use the third shade here for my inner corner. And let me go ahead and get my brush. And these are from Wet n Wild. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm actually going to spritz my brush just to give it a little bit more extra color. So I'm going to spritz my brush and then I'm going to go ahead and go in with this really pretty kind of glittery shade right here. And it's so pretty. And then I'm going to go in with that and I'm going to put that just a little bit in my inner corner. So and when you add a little bit of either setting spray or water, it really adds nicely to the color payoff. And then I'm just going to go ahead and just bring it down to the corner of my eye. Doing the same thing to the other eye, just brightening up that inner corner and then just bringing it down just a little bit. And as you can see, it's really just adding a little extra to the inner corner without it being overpowering. And it's just giving it a little bit of color. Now I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild. And I am going to grab this, which I've already hit pan on. I'm going to grab a little bit of this just to kind of soften it up a little bit. And that way I can have a little bit of color, but not have it be too bright. So I'm just going to go in with this as well. Tap off the excess. And then we're going to go in with the Wet n Wild shadow. Just to kind of lighten everything up just a little bit. And then I'm going to just look at my little mirror right here. And there we go. So now that I'm pretty happy with the way the color is paying off. There we go. Now I am going to prep my lashes for the falsies. So let's go ahead and do that. But it's looking really pretty, and then it's amazing what just a little bit of that kind of inner corner work, and you know, a little bit, you can actually press it into if you want it to blend a little bit better. If you don't have fingernails, if you don't have fingernails, you can do that to have it press in a little bit more, and it just adds just a little bit of glitter, not too much, and brightens up your under eye. Really, 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 really pretty. So now we're going to go in with my favorite lashes, which are going to be the Koko Lashes, and the style is Heiress. And these are my go-to favorite lashes. Super pretty, really thin, easy band to work with. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a little horseshoe motion like so, and kind of bend them a little bit and prep them. These, thankfully, I don't have to cut, but if you ever have to cut your lashes, never cut them from the inner corner. Always cut them from the outer corner because you don't want them to get sharp and to poke you close to your tear duct. So we're just going to go ahead and kind of bend these like a horseshoe, as you see here. I'm going to do a little bit of shadow in the corner as well, just to kind of give me a little bit of definition. So I'm going to go ahead and get another Wet n Wild brush, and I'm going to go into this brown shade right here, and just a little bit, not too much, tap off the excess. And then a good trick of what I do is I get a tissue, or I get a makeup wipe or something to kind of catch the fallout. Or another thing you can do is you can also just dust it off with powder. So I'm just going to go ahead and just put a little bit here in the inner corner. Nothing too crazy. And I'm going to have it blend well with the little bit of the shimmer. There you go. So see how nice it adds just a little bit of definition, nothing too stark or dark. And I'm going to do the same with this eye here. Same concept. Just a lot of very short brush strokes. You don't want to do anything too swift or too quick, because you just want to press the product in and have it meet that shimmer right there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and kind of do with a little bit of the inner corner. And I always like to look close up as well as kind of far away when I'm doing my makeup, because it gives you a better sense of if one eye needs more product versus the other. So I feel like this eye has a little bit more product than this one, so I'm going to go back in with a little bit more product on my left eye. Same thing. Okay, now the trick is to blend. I'm getting a clean brush. This is just from Target. I've had this brush for years. It's a Sonia Cusack, I think. And I'm just going to go ahead and brush both of these colors in together so they're not as harsh. And I want to make sure that they match. You know, you don't want them to be twins, but you don't want them to, one to be too dark. So there you go. Just blending that out. And now, if you have any fallout, this is what you're going to do. You're going to get your powder. You're going to get a lot of powder. You're not even going to tap it. You're going to swish it. And then you're going to do the same thing. Swish it. And then there you go. You don't have any fallout. And then that's good if you're traveling and you don't have all of these extra, you know, things that you can put all of your, rest of your makeup. That's a very easy way to swish off any excess fallout. And now I'm going to throw my lashes on, and then I'm going to do bronzer. So let's go ahead and do the lashes, and then we'll do the bronzer. So I am going to be using the Duo Dark Tone. And then, of course, the lashes are Koko Lashes in the style-Heiress. And I'm just going to kind of bend these like a horseshoe a little bit. There you go. And the trick with eyelash glue is it is a dark color. And I'm going to go ahead and show you. I like using this dark tone because it blends really nice and it dries down to a black, which is really cool. So I'm going to put my eyelash glue on my lash. Now let's see if I can get this really close to the camera. Okay, so if you see here, it is kind of a gray color, okay? The gray color means it is not ready to put on your lash. I like to say it hasn't cured. When it gets closer to a black color, that is when it is ready for you to put on your lash. So while I'm waiting for this to kind of dry a little bit, I'm going to go in with my mascara one more time. And I'm going to put a little bit more mascara on my lash, on both my lashes. And I'm just going to clean up my brow a little bit. So that's kind of what I do when I'm waiting for my eyelash glue to kind of dry down a little bit. I just fine tune whatever I need to finish fixing, or, you know, adding a little more or less, or blending out a little more. That's what I tend to do while I'm letting my eyelash glue dry a little bit. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so this is still kind of wet. I'm going to let it dry a little more. Okay, now it is a lot, sorry, it's kind of hard to show on camera, but it's a lot darker. So now it's ready to put on my lash. So I'm going to look down in my mirror. I'm going to look down and I'm going to put it kind of in the pocket between my lash and the top of my, there you go. And the trick is to look down in the mirror when you're putting your lash on. And I'm just going to position it in place with my tweezers to make sure it is a nice blended application. And there we go. It's amazing what lashes do to add to your look. So I'm just going to finish putting my lashes on, making sure they're nice and secure. And then I'm going to let those set a little bit, and then I'm going to put my other lash on. Same concept, just doing it slow and steady and not being too rushed when you do your glue. I think that's a huge thing for people who are new to wearing falsies, is don't be rushed to put on the lashes before the glue has a time to kind of cure and get tacky. So there we go. almost done. I'm going to kind of do the same thing, except I'm going to add a little bit more mascara to my bottom lashes while I'm waiting for my other eyelash glue to get tacky for my other lash, and then we will be complete. I'll just be doing my lipstick combo and then some bronzer. So I'm pretty happy with the way this makeup look turned out. I feel it's really soft, but it adds a little bit of definition to the corner of your eye. And then the inner corner just really adds a lot of brightening to your inner corner just to wake up your eye, which is really pretty. Okay, now we're going to put on the other lash. It's still kind of gray. It's kind of hard to see, but it's still kind of gray. It hasn't got a darker black. So I'm going to let that dry a little bit more. Okay, now we're good. Same concept. You're going to look down in your mirror and place that lash really close to the top of your natural lash. And then you adjust accordingly with the tweezers. Make sure your tweezers are clean, because if they have any mascara or anything or glue, it will pull up your lash as you're trying to adjust it. So same thing, I'm looking down in my mirror and then just kind of pushing up and adjusting it. And as you can see, that glue is still kind of drying, so it's still drying a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to let those dry. I am going to tightline just the top of these falsies to my natural with this NYX Epic Liner in the color Pitch Black. In my opinion, this is a dupe for the Urban Decay All Nighter. So I love this. And sometimes my eyes tend to kind of get watery, and with that type of liner, it does not run or bleed or anything like that. So we're going to go ahead and use the Butter Bronzer in Deep Bronzer PF10598. Again, all of the colors and names of these products that I have mentioned will be down in the description box below. I'm going to use another brush from Wet n Wild. I'm going to swirl and tap, swirl and tap. So, sorry, I have to smile a little bit when I'm putting my bronzer on. And as you see, I kind of sweep and pull down. And that's what it looks with bronzer and without. So do the same thing. Gonna swish and tap. Okay, now I put a little bit on my nose and then a little bit on the top of my forehead here and here. A little bit on my chin. And I'm doing this just kind of to do like a soft contour. I don't generally contour my face, and I don't use blush. I just use bronzer for blush. Just to add a little bit of color. Just adding a little bit here to my forehead and my chin. And there you go, folks. This is the final look with all drugstore products. And I'm really happy on the way it turned out. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share, like, and subscribe. Also check out my Instagram. I do go lives at least 4 to 5 times a week, and that is also session.withserena. And as we tend to do, if no one, oh, I almost forgot something. Lipstick. Combo is 915 Blushing Beige. So it's a really pretty color. I can't believe I almost forgot our lipstick. So Blushing Beige with the topper is going to be Creme Brule by NYX. I can't believe I almost forgot this. I'm so used to wearing masks that I almost forgot. Okay, now we can try this again. Okay, so we're good. This is the final look. Let me go ahead and turn the lighting down just a little bit because I feel, there we go. Okay, so this is my final look, and everything was drugstore products with the exception of my face primer. That was the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, but I am still on the hunt looking for a drugstore primer for everybody. But as we tend to do, if no one has told you that you are loved and appreciated, I'm telling you right now, friends, be sure to go to my Instagram as well as subscribe to this YouTube channel. I film at least 5 times a week on my Instagram Go Lives, and I am happy to go on this journey with everyone. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!